That's $10,000, Connor. Ha ha! Yeah! 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 This show is not for sharpshooters. This show is a fucking machine gun. There's no chewy center to this show. It's all hard candy. This show is not a sniper on a fucking roof. This show is a drone taking out a village. Do not invite me into your house because I will come in and I will wreak fucking havoc. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Folks, here's what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you this question. Do you eat secondhand fruit? It's an important question because I have been offered secondhand fruit in this time frame, in this time space, in this very space where I sit right now. Seconds ago, our friend Lily von Stupp said, "Hey, would you like some of this fruit?" And this is fruit that I see. She has it in a bowl in her hands with her fork in it. I guess that's a nice gesture to offer me said fruit, but it just seems like, hey, you know what? Eat your own goddamn fruit. Isn't there fresh fruit in the fridge that I can have? No. Here, eat this leftover fruit that's in this bowl that I've made warm with my hands, because the bowl's in her hands, and she's got warm hands, so they're holding the bowl, which warms the bowl, which warms the fruit inside, and she's had the fork in her mouth, and it just looks like a whole congealed mess of secondhand fruit that I don't want to get involved in, folks. I want nothing to do with it. So she's like, "Here, have some of this fruit." I'm like, "No, that's not happening ever." She's like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Do me a favor, give me that bag of candy," because there's a bag of candy on the table. She's like, "Oh, you'll eat my secondhand candy, but you won't eat my secondhand fruit." I said, "The candy is wrapped up in a sanitary wrapper. You're sitting there holding this bowl, breathing on it. You're drooling in your bowl of fruit. You're holding it with your hands. You're warming it up. It's like, you ever see Ghost when they did the clay thing and like Demi Moore made the giant cock out of clay? That's what she was doing with this fruit. She's like holding this bowl and getting it warm, and it's all supple and pliant. I don't want supple fruit. I don't want pliant fruit. I want fruit that's crisp. I want fruit that's fresh. I want fruit that bursts in my mouth. I don't want it to be some sort of fucking softy fruit. Awful. So I'm like, "Give me that candy." So I get the candy and I'm unwrapping a couple of Tootsie Rolls, and she goes, "Wait a minute. You would stick your tongue in my ass, but you wouldn't eat my fruit?" And I don't even know the leap that was made there. We had not discussed me eating her ass out. We had not, at least certainly not today, we hadn't talked about it. I've only been here like 15 minutes. Maybe that's just the look that I have at all times. Do I look like a guy who'll eat your ass? I mean, I am. Certainly I am. But I didn't know that I carried that look with someone I've known for years. And it makes me wonder how long she's been holding on to that to drop in my lap over what trivial matter she could have possibly done that. Wait a second, you. Are you telling me that you'll eat my ass, but you won't park outside of my house? I mean, it's just like, what a weird thing to drop on me. You'll eat my ass, but you won't eat my fruit. That's what she said, and she meant it. That was the thing. It wasn't even like a goof. She didn't laugh. She looked at me with like kind of a skewed face. She's like, "You mean to tell me that you would eat my ass? You would stick your tongue in my ass, but you wouldn't eat this fruit?" And again, I have no idea where that came from. I don't know what she's been. I mean, I was late. I was a couple hours late. Did it just her mind drift off? She's like, "Oh, you know what? When he gets here, he's going to eat my ass." That's what's going to happen.
No.
I don't know how many days or years or hours you've been dreaming of this moment. Well, but that seems I mean, you can agree that that's a leap. You can agree that that's a weird place to go from the fruit.
If a woman offered you some fruit, you're like, "Oh, no. But if a woman offered you her vagina and ass, you dive right
Yes.
in without even questioning.
Because
what else had been there before?
I don't care what's been there before that.
You're worried about a little bit of spit from a fork on a piece
I don't
of
think
strawberry.
Monsanto has gotten anywhere near your vagina. I don't know where you get your fruit. Your vagina comes out of your genes. I can see that. That's organic vagina. I know where that comes from. That vagina is in a wrapper, and I can unwrap it and see exactly what's there. However, the fruit is in a bowl. I don't know where you fucking scavenged that from. Could have been some hobo downstairs. Could have been some Mexican in a fucking bank parking lot. I don't know where you get your fruit. Monsanto's involved, all these government organizations and pesticides. I don't think anybody is spraying paraquat on your ass. So believe me, I'd rather take my chances with that. I read the papers. Fruit's a coin flip at this point. Now, if you're storing that fruit in your vagina, I am all in. If you've got a Vagria brewing down there, I will have a glass of it. Absolutely. Get me a San Vagria, and I will choke it down, baby. Let's do it. I will turn on the tap that is your ass and get myself a glass of Ass-Gria. Let's do it. But just fruit in a bowl? I don't know where the fuck that came from. What a leap. What an odd leap. But good for you. Hey, folks, how are you? Yeah, okay. So I'm here at Lily's house to do the show. Late today. Not happy about it, folks. Very late. Supposed to be here at 2, and then I didn't go to bed till 9 a.m. and figured I would be able to get up. And so I texted her before I hit the rack, and I'm like, hey, I'll be there at 3. 2 has become 3, and she's like, that's not a problem. So then I woke up at 3:35. And I was like, hey, I'm real sorry. I said, you want me to do a clip show or whatever? Because I take Lily's whole day. I mean, Wednesday she devotes to me, which she shouldn't. She doesn't have to devote the whole day. And that's one of the reasons why I like to start earlier anyway, because I also don't like being here all night long. I hate coming here when it's late and leaving when it's dark. I feel like I'm ruining her day and taking everything up, and it's fucked. Plus, as we all know, the Stanley Cup starts today. Blackhawks and Bruins in game 1 starting at 5 o'clock. So I was hoping if I got here at 2, I would be out of here by 5. Yeah, right. That's going to happen. Yeah, that's never going to happen. So I would have hoped to have gotten out of here at a reasonable time. But instead, what time is it now, Lily?
6:09.
Hey, 6:09. I'm late. And here's one of the reasons why I'm late. And let's talk about this, folks. Let's talk about don't get mad anymore. Let's talk about keeping your rage in check. Let's talk about not being angry, because that's what I'm trying to do. I told you folks that I'm trying to be a good guy. I'm trying to be a better guy. I'm trying to be a guy who doesn't unleash himself upon the unsuspecting public. I want to just be me. I want to be a guy. I want to blend in. That's what I want to be. I want to be slumped shoulders, looking at the ground, not making eye contact with anybody, and letting everybody else be the alpha male for once. I'm just going to walk around and be me. I'm just going to look at the ground and just be, you know what I'm going to be? I'm just going to be skin and air. That's it. That's all I want to be. Skin, hair, and air. That's who I am as a guy. I want nothing to do with getting in anybody's face. I don't want to have any sort of, back and forth. I don't want to have any sort of eye contact where someone gives me a look and then it turns into a thing. I just want to be a person who breathes and has his own personal space and doesn't have to worry about getting involved in any sort of altercation. But the world has conspired against me. As it often does. And look, the world conspires against you as well, and against my friend Lily. It always happens. You have best intentions, and you don't want to do things. Then, unfortunately, your hand is forced. And you have to bring your real self to the table, which is not good. Nobody likes your real self. Keep your real self in check. Wrap it up. Here's what happened to me today, folks. I got here late, as I told you. I got here about 4:15, give or take. And as you know, at the oldest building in Hollywood, they also have the oldest parking situation in Hollywood, in that you have these permits that you have to have, and there's only a few spots available to the general public. And now they're doing work on a building across the street. They finally decided, the second oldest building in Hollywood has decided to modernize itself, and they're going to take out all the asbestos and stop killing people. They were tired of dragging out the bodies of dead immigrants in the middle of the night, so they said, hey, why don't we take out the drywall instead? Do one trip with the drywall, and we won't have to every night be disposing of Paco in the dumpster. Nobody wants to do that. Believe me, California is the only place in the world that has a building that's a serial killer. So, and also because it's all like undocumented illegals, nobody cares here. Our chief suspect is a building. Well, oh well. Better keep an eye on it. We'll give it 1,000 more Mexicans, and then we're gonna have to change that rug. My point is the city doesn't care. All right, so as witnessed by the fact that I'm in the oldest building in Hollywood, and last week there was a cat in here, nobody cared, even though you shouldn't allow an animal in here. Anyway, so the cat's gone, right?
It is.
All right, you sure?
I'm positive.
All right.
She went home.
You're not going to say, oh, you would stick your tongue in that cat's ass, but you're not going to eat my fruit?
You would stick your tongue in that cat's ass.
I don't know. It's a fat cat. It was kind of a sexy cat, I guess. All right, so. Yeah, no, I'm not. That's not happening ever. I love the fact that I have to qualify it. That's not happening ever. Listen, all you people out there who thought I was going to eat out a cat, that's never happening. If you thought I was going to stick my tongue in a cat's ass, folks, you are sadly mistaken.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know how that came up, but you guys, I'm here to tell you right now, I'm here to assuage you. I'm here to take away those feelings. Any thought you possibly had of me jamming my tongue up a cat's ass, just lose it right now. Disregard it. Throw it out of your head, because it's never happening. Never, I say. No matter how much money you offer me, or how gorgeous that cat is. All right.
Ouch.
I can assure you the cat would not say ouch. However, conversely, if a cat puts its tongue in my ass, I would say ouch. Nobody wants a sandpaper ass.
Oh.
All right. The show took a turn. That's a horrible turn. We just killed 1,000 Mexicans and I had out a cat. What the fuck?
Yep.
All right. Folks, we're going to have to put a PG-13 on this show, certainly. Maybe an R. The show may have earned an R. Well, I don't know what they have. What do they have in the iTunes store? Isn't there a thing?
There's general and explicit.
Explicit. All right. I'm going to guess we've gone into the explicit territory. I apologize, folks. You know, normally I don't do that. But it looks like today I had to make that leap. I had to go over and go ahead and become an explicit show. Just this once. Look, I'm trying to get myself a new audience. I'm trying to broaden my horizon. I'm trying to open it up. I'm trying to bring people who like that sort of humor inside. Because normally we're all here together. We're a team, and I'm telling stories by a fireside. But now, you know what? I had to go a little blue there to get some other people involved. All right, so... you know, that audience out there that loves killing Mexicans and eating out cats. I had to get them involved. You know, those people right now are at home going, oh, if only there were a podcast for me. Well, let me tell you something. Tomorrow morning, things change. Cat eater outer Mexican murderers. All right. So, folks, I'm downstairs. I get here today to park, and there's nowhere to park. It's always a crapshoot. And if I don't, here's the thing, if I don't get to park outside in the building outside of Lily's place, I have to go park in the Hollywood and Highland complex, which is where they have the Oscars and stuff, and you have to pay. And I think we all know my situation right now does not lend itself to paying for air, which is all parking is. You know, I think parking is a racket. It is truly my most hated thing in the world. I actually, you know what's funny? A guy from the UN of Evil was in town last night, and he called me up, and we went out and had some dinner, had a few beers at a place, and he was telling me that he's going to the Stanley Cup in Boston, and he knows a guy who is in Boston and owns 3 parking lots. He starts telling me the story, and I'm like, dude, that's amazing that you're going. And then he's like, yeah, he goes, this guy, he's a friend of, you know, my wife is a friend of his wife, and then he and I got together. He's a good guy. I've been to Boston and hung out with him, and he owns 3 parking lots in Boston. And I am telling you, because it was a great story, the fact that he was going to the game and the fact he's going to go to a Stanley Cup game and he has great seats because he sits right off the ice because this guy does work with the Bruins and the Red Sox and stuff. But then he told me the guy owned parking lots, and I hated this fucking guy. I don't know him. I've never met him. I never will meet him. I know nothing about him. He could be the nicest guy because my buddy was like, dude, he's a cool guy. I couldn't believe it. We hit it off. He owns 3 parking lots. And I'm like, that guy should fucking die. That guy bought air. Which is terrible, I know, but that's exactly how I felt because I don't get the parking thing. I don't get it because especially today, boy, I'm getting there. Parking's a fucking racket. So I instantly hated that fucking guy. Yeah, he owns 3 parking lots and he owns a rental car thing that he uses, and I'm just like, I'd kill him. I don't care. Fucking parking lots, awful. Build a hospital on it or something. Build a Mexican killing building. I'm sure they need one of those in Boston. Are there any Mexicans in Boston? I don't know if there are. No, because they have those Minutemen at the border who won't let them in. Because apparently my idea of Boston is from 1750. What the fuck is wrong with me? I've been to Boston. It's a modern city. Of course they let people in, you dumbass. All right. How great would that be still? Boston, actually, if there was one city in America that it would be like that, it would be Boston, that had guys like working the fucking border and like, nah, you can't come in here. Nah, you can't. I can't even do it. Park the car. I can't do it. I'm no Marv Weber. We want your ace. I can't even do Marv Weber. It's been years. It's been too many years. Here's a funny story. Our friend Mark is the guy I told the story. He's the guy we fooled with the Marv Weber thing. And by the way, if you don't know who Marv Weber is, buy year 2.
I have no idea.
Year 1. I'd buy them all. They're all so good. But all right, thumbnail it. When I was in high school, one day we made a bunch of prank calls. And we pretended to be the track coach from the University of Illinois or the baseball coach from the University of Illinois or whatever. And it was always this guy, Marv Weber, and I gave him John F. Kennedy's voice for no reason. Hey, this is Marv Weber. So stupid, but it worked. So we called up, and I fooled my buddy Mark's. I fooled him on the phone, and like I got his SAT score, and I mean I got all this stuff, and I get everything except his transcripts. We talked about and it was me the whole time. So I told that story on here, and it seemed to be a hit with the crowd to the point where a guy started a Marv Weber Facebook page. And Marv Weber became my friend, and the picture's like a 1950s coach. It's fucking awesome. And then when I was in St. Louis, that person introduced themselves to me. Finally, the person who started the Marv Weber page. I don't know if they want me to say their name, but I won't. But it was great. So there's Marv Weber. So my friend Mark that I went to high school with. He's been listening to the show for years. Okay. He also was a central figure in another story when I stole all the money out of my mom's bank account, and then we faked that we were charity people, and we went to outside grocery stores and collected for UNICEF, and then kept the money. All right, so that Mark loaned me money. Yeah, sure. See these high school shenanigans. That's another thing. I was talking to this guy from the UN of Evil last night, and all right, I'm just gonna fucking say this. I have a friend who. I involved him in some of my, with you guys. Like I was telling stories or whatever, and I mentioned him, and I told some stuff. And he's a grown-up. So he's not too fond of that sort of thing. Because apparently he has a job and kids, and if they found out about some of the stuff that he did 30 years ago, I guess they'd leave. I have no idea. But at the same time, I understand, because look, nobody signed up for this bullshit. All right, you went through a bunch of stuff when we were kids, but nobody realized one of us was going to go ahead and find a microphone later and broadcast your shenanigans to a worldwide audience. Nobody realized when we were stealing liquor from the VFW hall in Lamont, Illinois, that I was going to mention it to everybody. That's sort of true. So my friend... he objected to some stuff to the point where I'm not even going to say what it is, but I was in the car and I get a phone call from him, and I haven't heard from him in a while. And so my cell phone goes off, and I'm like, well, I can't answer it in the car because I didn't have my Bluetooth in, and I had somebody in the car. I don't listen, but why do I need to explain this? I don't have my Bluetooth in if somebody else is in the car because it's rude. I'm not going to take any calls when you're there, so I just look stupid with that douchebag thing in my ear. So he calls again. And then he calls me a third time. Fuck, I'll just tell you what this was. All right. Because he doesn't listen to the show, so that's the best part. He has no idea any of the shit that I've told you about him. However, what happened was I put up a picture on Facebook. And first when I put the picture up, I just put up the picture, okay? And then I put up all the nicknames of the guys you know from the UN of Evil. I didn't tag them in the photos. I just used their nickname. You know what? That's wrong. Hold on. I put the photo up. Okay? I put the photo up. And the Mex calls me, and he's like, hey, are you sure you want to have everybody's faces in this picture? And I said, oh, I don't know. I guess so. He goes, well, you send it to me, and I'll pixelate it. I'll fix the faces. I said, all right. So I sent him the picture. He monkeyed up with the faces. And then I put it back up. And then I wrote, I wrote a description of the photo, and then that's when I wrote all the nicknames of everybody. Because I think it's fun for you guys to have the nicknames because, we do the UN of Evil and all that stuff. So Max immediately writes, hey, wasn't the whole point of anonymity and screwing with the faces in this picture making sure people to know who these people were? Why are you putting the nicknames up? Good point. So I immediately erased everything. I took it all down. I left the picture up, though. And, some of you saw it, some of you didn't. Because people started to comment on it. And then I get in the car, and I'm driving later that day, and then I get 3 phone calls from my friend. It turns out someone we went to high school with saw the picture. And she wrote, she goes, should I start tagging who everybody is here? She goes, I know exactly who these guys are. Maybe I ought to start tagging names. Well, it would have stopped right there. Except one of the UN of Evil's wives saw it. and went, wait a second. And then she talked to my friend and was like, look, I don't know if you want to explain this to your 8-year-old at some point. And look, I'm of the mind that I don't fucking understand why anybody would care. This is 25 years ago, and guess what? We are all stupid, and we did a bunch of dumb shit. But he was not. He called me 3 times. I'm on the road. He called me, and finally I got to where I was going, and I called him. I listened to his voicemails. Hey, listen, man. I saw that picture, and I got to tell you, I just, if there's a way we could take it down or anything, and like it sounded like he was in a police station, and he wanted me to bail him out. It was brutal, and I mean, and I felt, I'm of 2 different minds on this. Okay, I'm of the mind of, fuck that, who cares? Come on, what the fuck? We all did this dumb shit. And then I'm of the mind of, again, he didn't sign up for this. He didn't realize that he was going to get sucked into the Schmidt vortex and fucking spit all over the world later on. So I understood it. I implicitly understood it. So I called Max, because I was on the road. I couldn't do anything about it. And I called David, and I'm like, hey, and he's like, did you hear from our friend? I'm like, oh, wait a second, what? And he goes, yeah, I heard from him too. And I'm like, wow. He goes, I'm taking it down. I said, okay, take it down. That's fine. It just makes sense, because I'm not out to upset anybody. I'm not trying to trick anybody or make anybody mad or sad or whatever. So we just took it down. And I haven't talked to my friend since. No, not in a mean way. Just he literally, you know what? This guy used to be me, him and Max. It's Jeff, my buddy Jeff. Me, him, and Max were super tight. We were and Dennis. We were all Evil Dennis. All of us were crazy tight. And then you get older and you get families and everything happens and everybody kind of splinters off. Well, I've still stayed tight with those guys, but like individually. I wouldn't say that we're tight as a group anymore. But I'm still tight with Jeff when I talk to him. I only talk to him like twice a year now, it seems. But then when I talk to him, we'll talk for 4 hours and we laugh the whole time. It's never weird or awkward when I see him or I'm talking to him, other than when he calls me in a panic and I'm on the fucking highway. Dude, yeah, I saw that. And it's funny, I can do his voice. If he'll never hear this, but it's funny because he normally is like kind of brazen and loud. He's funny. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. But when he gets serious, it's that, and by the way, the only person who thinks this is funny is Max right now, because he knows that I sound exactly like him, because Max had to take the same phone call. Dude, listen, I saw that photo, and I can't get tagged in that, man. And I'm trying to explain to my wife, and I'm like, oh my God, are you joking? This happened 30 years ago. But again, at the same time, I completely understand, and we'll take it down. So we did. And I haven't talked to him since, but then he was in town. His business is buying some space out here, and they're locating. So he'll be in LA a few more times a year, which is good. I'll get to see him. But he calls me yesterday, and I'll tell you this: he called me Monday, and this will really show the difference between me and him. This will show the difference between me and anybody, quite frankly. He calls me Monday, and he's like, "Hey, I'm in town, man, and I got like a dinner happening, and I got some work stuff, but I have a night tonight. It's Monday. Would you like to hang out?" And he called me at 8 o'clock. And Mondays I bounce for Lily. So I'm like, dude. I go, this is honestly the one day I couldn't do it. I'm real sorry about that. And he goes, oh, well, no problem. He goes, maybe I'll see you, I probably won't get to see you because I'm leaving town Wednesday. And I go, what about tomorrow? He goes, nah, we're busy. We got meetings and all this different stuff. And I said, well, what about tonight? And he goes, well, you're going to your thing. And I go, yeah. I go, but you know what? If you want to come to the burlesque show, that'll be cool. We'll hang out. And then afterwards, we'll go get something to eat. And he goes, when? I said, I don't know. I'll get out there about 12. He goes, midnight? And I said, yeah. And he goes, dude, I got meetings all day. And I have meetings starting at 8 a.m. Tuesday. And in my head, I'm like, so fucking what? You only see me twice a year, so be tired of your meetings one day. 364 days a year, be you. One day a year, be me. You be me for a while, and I'll be you. Which is a lie, because I will never be him, because he's responsible. My life is so different from those guys. It's crazy. We're talking last night. He's like, yeah, we got offices in London now. So me and the family are going to go out of town for like a week and a half. We're going to London. Then for the rest of the week, we're going to Paris. So we're going to spend 2 weeks in Europe on a vacation with the kids for a while. And I'm just like, okay, that's great. Is anybody staying in your house while you're gone? Because I might need a roof for 2 weeks. Oh, no? Oh, you don't think I can stay there? Well, I have a certain photograph you might be interested in. Oh, you do need a house sitter now? Fantastic. Let me go back to my safe deposit box. Make sure everything's still intact. Oh, that's still you. Tag. Your name. Your nickname. All right. So I asked him to hang out Monday, and I'm like, yeah, man, we'll go out because I was gonna go to Toy, and we'll go eat something at like midnight. And he's just like, no, I can't do that. And he goes, I flew all day, and I was in meetings, and I got meetings tomorrow, and I'm like, well, yeah, but we're just gonna go eat and talk, and we're just gonna hang out. He goes, Michael, that's 2 a.m. my time. And then we'll hang out till 5 my time, and then I got to be at meetings. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, well, what? I'm busy. I'm out. I go, well, look, I'm around the next couple of days if you want to call me. I go, but if not, I'm sorry I missed you. He's like, well, I'll be out here more often because we got the new office. I'm like, yeah, all right. So we hang up, and because I'm a girl, I immediately call Dave, and I'm like, God damn it. I go, are you going to tell me if I'm wrong here? And he's like, what? I go, fucking, our mutual friend is out here. Now I got to talk like the mob. Like I'm getting to my, like this show's been 10. Oh, that's right. Jeff's out here. I forgot I did. Because now I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I can do or say at all. And it's funny because I told him, all right, so wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I called Max and I'm like, hey, dude, fucking Jeff's out here. And he's like, yeah. And I go, and he calls me up. And he gets, it's late notice because I got to bounce for Lily tonight. And then he's busy the next couple of days. So I said to him, we'll just come out to the show and we'll hang out and we'll go out afterwards. And he said, no. And he goes, yeah? And I go, yeah, it's ridiculous. You're in town to see me once. You can't see me one day and hang out and be tired at your meetings the next fucking day? He goes, you're wrong, right? And I go, yes, I guess I'm wrong, but I don't want to be wrong. I mean, why the fuck can't my friend hang out with me? Well, I'm serious. Because I'm a child. That's the thing. These guys are grown-ups. They got kids and houses and lives and wives, and they know what to do. I got none of that anymore. Literally, all of it is gone. I'm in just the blank white field. I don't know how to exist as a human being anymore. So I said, I go, really? I go, you wouldn't? I go, if you were out here and you had a thing, and he goes, well, probably not. No. He goes, if I got to work and do stuff, no, I wouldn't do that. And I go, and it's funny because he's right, and I know he's right, but I just want somebody to go, yeah, you're right. I mean, I know I'm not right, I mean, huh?
You're right.
Oh, thanks. You don't have to do that, really. I know you're trying to help, but I'm not right. No, I'm not. Even I know I'm not right, but at the same time, I just, hey, I'm a child, so I want what I want. So I'm talking to him, and David's just like, yeah, you're wrong here. You're totally wrong. And I'm just like, yeah, but he could just hang out one night. He's like, no, and you're wrong. And I'm like, God damn it, fine. So I'm like, well, I don't understand. Again, I haven't seen the guy, and I don't think I've seen him since I was home to do a show in Chicago, the previous show in Chicago, not the last one in Naperville, but the one that was actually in the city. I don't know. So he calls me yesterday. He called me last night, and he had to have dinner and stuff with his boss and everything. But afterwards, he's like, "Hey, I'm actually free." It was 8:00, and I said, "I'm in. Let's do something." So we went to a bar. He turned out he was staying right by my house, just like 10 minutes away, 15 minutes. And he's like, "Hey, we'll go watch the game. We'll hang out." So we went to a bar last night, and we sit down, and he just goes, "Hey, look, Michael, I gotta say something. About that thing when I called you guys. I didn't mean to be like, I sound like I was in a panic, but I go, no, I go, I get it. I go, I don't get it, but at the same time, I get it." He goes, "Well, it's just, my boss is on Facebook, and my COO and all these guys and other guys I own the company with, and you know, those guys are on there, and you know, my daughters, and I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I said, I understand. And I said the same thing I just said to you guys. Nobody signed up for this. You know, nobody decided that they were going to be you know, broadcast to everybody how stupid they were. And this is the thing. But this is the thing. He then kept saying, he goes, yeah, man. He goes, you know, he goes, we did a bunch of dumb shit growing up. I mean, just a bunch of stupid stuff. And I go, uh-huh. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, I don't need people to know about that. I go, why? Why don't you need people to know about that? What does that change about who you are as a guy? And he's just like, well, you know, it's just, it doesn't matter. He goes, people look at you different. I said, I don't care if anybody looks at you different. You are who you are. You got 2 beautiful kids, a gorgeous wife, a great house, a great job. You went to a bachelor party 25 years ago and people are going to fucking judge you on that? That's crazy. He goes, it's just something I want to avoid. I don't even want to be in the discussion. Like, why should I even have to have the discussion now? That's in the past, and there's no reason to even bring it up. And I go, I understand. I go, you know, I've told the story about when you kicked the hole in the wall, right? He goes, God damn it, Michael. I said, I'm serious. I said, you remember when you squirted out the whole fucking jar of mustard and dotted the I with your name? Because I told that story on here too. My friend, he said, I'm going to write my name in mustard because he was drunk, and he wrote his name in mustard and just like regular, like nice, but then he dotted the I in his name with the rest of the mustard. The entire jar. Yeah. And I told him that, and he's just like, God damn it. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, man, we did some stupid shit. I go, yes, we did. It's fucking hysterical. I said, dude, 2 weeks ago I told a story about Marilyn Sapolo's graduation party. I said, it just came out. Like, I just remembered it in the moment and told it. And it's funny because I didn't even remember about the Lamont VFW Hall until last night when we were talking. And he goes, you know, people say stuff that you know, shit to me, and I'm just like, I don't even remember it. I go, yeah, I remember it. I completely remember it. Because our friend, we were one time we were out at, we used to always hang out at this. All right, our friend Danny was dating this girl Pam, and then there were the Shinaki twins, who were, which I should not give their last names. Literally, idiot. But I've talked about this before. Where it's like, you know, the girls would be in one room and the guys would be in another, and stupid shit would happen. Well, and then we went up going to Jewel, and there was a Jewel, which is a grocery store, and I worked at Jewel.
Oh yes,
and yeah, and so did Jeff. Jeff and I were baggers there together. We were as well. I mean, you know what? By Schmitty Comes Alive. You'll hear of the exploits of Jeff and I at Jewel. Because I told him that too. I go, you know, I told that story, and he's like, what? And I go, yeah. And and the best part of those stories is when I tell Jeff them, because then he's remembering them too as I go, hey, you know, I mentioned, and he goes, wait a minute. And then he starts to kind of peel the onion on it. And he goes, wait a minute, with the rump roast? And I'm like, yeah, I told that story. He's like, God damn it. And he goes, did you tell the story about when we would sit in that gully? And I'm just like, oh, no, I haven't. I go, so maybe I'll have to mention that. I used to live in a place called Winston Woods in Bolingbrook. It was like a little fucking townhouse community. And but it was right by Route 53, which is a main road. So Jeff and Jeff and our friend Mike Scott and Mike Casey, idiots. There was a gully, like a ditch right by Route 53. We would sit in it. So you couldn't be seen from the road. But if you like laid on it, like you were in a war, you could look up and see the cars going by. So we would sit in the ditch with eggs.
Oh, Jesus.
And the 4 of us would just throw eggs over our heads into the air. And you would hear, push, 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 and you'd hear the eggs hit a fucking car, and you'd hit the car, hit the brakes, or not hit the brakes, and you just fucking run like a madman and just sprint. And just fucking, you know, and literally with like a dozen eggs under your arm like a football. Just fucking Walter Payton your way, sweetness out of the goddamn ditch, and run and hide in the townhouses. Just fucking get lost. And then we'd all meet back at the gully and throw more eggs. And he's like, you remember that? And I go, uh-huh. Yeah, I remember that. And I go, I haven't told anybody about that yet. And he's just like, God damn it. And I go, well, guess what? But he was so, like, I could hear how scared he was when he called me about that. Hey, you know what? Just makes me laugh. How did I get into that?
You were, fuck. I don't know. You started talking about parking, and then you started talking about the photo, and then, yeah.
I don't remember. What photo?
The photo that he called you about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because our buddy Mark. Yeah, I was talking about Mark. Remember Mark? Marv Weber.
Mauve Weber.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Mark's listened to the show forever, and he's been very nice. He's bought shirts. He's actually donated. He's seen me live, and it was cool to reconnect with him because I haven't heard or seen him. And he's all over the world. He's a pilot. He's traveling. He just put a picture up on the Joker's page of himself at like the highest point, I think, in Hawaii or somewhere, and he's wearing a 40-year-old boy shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah. So but this made me laugh. Is he turned a friend onto the show, a woman named Jill. And she actually, I don't know what happened. Did I give her a download set or she won it by answering a trivia question that I asked? And so then she bought the rest. She's one of the few people who got referred to the show and stuck around. Everybody else goes, wait a minute, that's one dude talking for fucking 3 hours? I'm out. Well, no, it's not 3 hours. It's easily 2 or 90 minutes or maybe even an hour. It could be 15 minutes. Who knows? Who knows, folks? Stick around. I talk till I'm done. So sure enough, he turns this woman Jill on, and she wins a download set, and then she buys the rest. And now she's very nice. She's active on the Joker's page. She writes me on Twitter and stuff. Seems cool. So she is catching up with the shows, and then she writes me when she hears certain shows, and she's like, oh my God, I can't. And it always makes me laugh. I've always talked about how these shows are like an IED. I call them an internet explosive device, because eventually it's just lying in wait for you, and then you'll hear it and you're like, oh my Christ, what happened there? And people will write me like, a year later and go, holy shit, you had a hooker in your car? And I'm like, uh-huh.
Not on purpose.
No, wasn't my choice. She just kind of jumped in when I went to straighten out a hamburger. By year 5? 4? I don't know. Look, buy all of them. Actually, we'll make it like a prize in a cereal box. Somewhere, when you buy all of them, you'll search through and you'll find a hooker in my car. Fantastic for everybody. I feel bad because people always write stuff like someone just wrote on the Joker's page, Adam, that guy, our friend Adam, and he's like, hey, does anybody know where the episode where the stew look originated? And I get no fucking idea. I have no clue. And then Rich, we've talked about Rich on here, and Rich is kind of the guy who will always write me and go, it was this episode or that episode. Well, then Adam shamed Rich into starting like a glossary of the show. Like the two of them had a thing, and Rich is like, all right, well, by September I'll have something. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't work for me. Stop it. It pissed me off, honestly. I saw it, and I'm just like, no, you two, what are you doing? It's just because now it makes me feel like, because I mean, and the thing, like I've talked about the Joker's page, I'm always there. You guys think I'm not, and you're talking to one another like I'm not there. I read everything, god damn it. So then I see these two going at it, and they're just like, and they're being nice. And he's like, well, I'm going to try and do it. He's like, well, I don't know if I have the time. And then Rich, you could almost see, he could have typed himself a picture of himself throwing his hands in the air. He's like, whatever, I'll do it. Nobody has to do it. Believe me, if there's any show in the history of the world that does not need to be transcribed for posterity, it's this one. There will not be future generations wondering about what Marv Weber brought to the table. Nobody fucking cares. I don't think the Library of Congress is clamoring for me and my fucking story of a saddle vag. Saddle vag is from what, year 2? I don't know. God damn it, that's a long time ago. So really, nobody has to do it. However, I will say this. If you're going to do it, you better fucking do it right. You think I said saddle veg by accident? No, I did it to fucking remind you that it better be in the goddamn collection. Because everyone needs to know what a saddle veg is. Everyone needs to know what a Han Solo is. I will say this right now. If anybody, first person to write me and tell me what a Han Solo was. You have your choice of the Bridgetown show or the Schmitty Comes Alive download. And if you have either of those, we'll figure something else out. But the first person to write me and tell me what a Han Solo was. I think that's in year 1. Do you even remember?
No.
All right. That's out there. that was back when I thought that I could come up with terms that people would remember, and they didn't. So, my friend Mark turns my friend Jill, our new friend Jill, not to be confused with Catfight Jill. This is new Jill, and she's a listener, a fan. And she contacts Mark and goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe that story about you and the track coach." And Mark reveals that he's never heard that episode. He got into the show, I don't know, a little late or whatever, but he's been around for like 3-4 years. But for some reason, he never heard that episode. And he had written me before because he did hear the episode of when he bailed me out and gave me the money when my mom had gone out of town. And he's like, I don't really remember all of that. I remember some of it. And I'm like, well, yeah, okay. You don't need to remember all of it. I'm the one doing the show. Believe me, my legion of fact checkers is not going to call you to cross-reference my goddamn story. So he's like, all right. And so I had teased him about the Marv Weber story, and I'd mentioned it a few times, and he's like, but he never listened. He never heard it. So, and I didn't know that until like a month ago when I get an email from him, and he's like, sheepishly, hey, I got to tell you something. I never listened to the Marv Weber story. I didn't know. I mean, I knew it happened, but I didn't know you talked about it. And then Jill told me to listen. And I'm here to tell you that I will get my revenge on you. Might not be now, might not be soon, but eventually something bad is going to happen to you because of me. And you're going to know that I was the one who caused it. And that's the email he sends. And I laughed my ass off. I'm like, I was more freaked out that he hadn't heard that episode. Because if he wanted to, he could have said to me, hey, send me that episode or tell me which one it is, and I would have absolutely found out. But he never even contacted me. So I just assumed he heard it. I didn't, because again, I saw him, I think he saw me in Austin and we talked. And I mean, I thought for sure he'd heard it. But he had not. And then he forswore vengeance against me in an email. But it made me laugh. Now, I think we all know what I do with emails is I read them and I chuckle or I cry or whatever I have to do with them. And then they sit there until I answer them months later. Maybe even years, quite frankly. We're doing very poorly with correspondence. But like 3 days later, I get another email from Mark. And this is why I wonder about what you people think of me. This is why I wonder if you don't know me at all or you think, I don't know. Perhaps I am as thin-skinned as you think. Because Mark wrote me and he goes, hey, I just wanted to apologize for my last email and my poor attempt at comedy. I was just having some fun. I hope you realized that. I wasn't really angry about it. And I'm like, of course you weren't. I know you weren't. Just like I'm not angry ever about anything, really, sort of. But I felt bad. Then I felt bad because then, I didn't write him right back. And then he wrote me to apologize. Like he thought that I didn't answer him because I was mad. I was like, no, I didn't answer because I'm a dumb fuck. That's why, because I don't fucking type anything. Ask our friend Ken, who expects me to do his podcast Sunday afternoon, and I haven't fucking confirmed. Hey, Ken, I think I'm going to do it. I'll confirm here on the show. I'll still send you an email, of course. Of course. That's what I do. But that's our friend Ken with his MMA. What is it? MMA Dude Bro? I don't even know the name of the podcast. But I'll do it next week and then I'll plug it. Although I think it'll be out Monday. I think I'll just plug it now. It's the MMA Dude Bro podcast. I'm pretty sure. I did it once before. And I talked about it. We didn't get to talk about what I wanted to talk about. Who cares? Nobody cares. You care, everybody cares. So that made me laugh that Mark wrote me and told me he'd never heard that episode, and then he was furious, and then he wasn't furious. He was just joking, but I knew he was joking. You know whose fault this is? Jill. Not Catfight Jill, new Jill. I was here, and I went to park, folks. I think I was talking about that earlier, before something happened. But I got here to park. It was like 4:15. And in the oldest building in Hollywood, there's very few parking spots outside. And so what I have to do is when I get here, I sit downstairs and wait and hope somebody comes out and moves their car so I can park. Because if they don't, then I got to go pay for parking. Did I tell you all this already? I feel like I have. If not in this episode, certainly in another. And all I know is when I'm downstairs waiting to park, all I can think about is that asshole in Boston who owns 3 parking lots. You jag off. What are you, Jesus? You don't get to own air. Air is free. And all I need is the air that I breathe. That's right, I go Hollies on you. One day, we'll have a thing where people have to determine, like, they have to figure out all the lyrics within the body of the story and the body of the show. and then culminate it, and then we'll have, you know what, if I did that? Oh my God, what if how genius would that be? I shouldn't even fucking say it again. I think of these things in the moment, then I talk about them and I ruin them, because instead I should just implement them. That'd be fucking fantastic. What if all show I just did lyrics? I just kept sprinkling them in, and then every week I put out an iTunes playlist to accompany the show. God damn it, that'd be awesome, right? That's just a lot of work. That's way too much work. Holy shit. Folks, back off, all right? I do enough doing this fucking show. I don't need to give you music as well. You're greedy. You're tearing me apart. You're tearing me apart. All right. So I'm parking downstairs. I think I say so too many times. So, and I always say, you know what else I say? Here's the thing. So, stop. They're placeholders because I'm talking. You know what I mean? When I'm talking, I got to find a thing to say. All right. So, damn it. So I'm going to park. I said again, stop it. But that's a word you have to use. And you know what's really funny? My iPhone corrects so to do. It's infuriating. Whenever I type so, it makes it do. Like, and it's like the sound. My phone's in the Sound of Music. So, a do instead of so. Ray. No, I was typing so. All right, so. It's a tick. It's a crutch. It's a tick and a crutch. Oh my God, how tiny would a crutch have to be for a tick? Shut up. Talk. God damn it, you fucking idiot. Fucking crazy hamster wheel in your head. Stop it from spinning. For once, just have a linear thought, man. Spin off into the ether. This entire show is, in the beginning of the show, it's an inflated balloon, and I just let it go. Wherever it winds up. That's the greatest magic trick I ever saw in my life. I told you that story. All right, so. Now it's all I hear. That's all I fucking hear. You better not name the show so. There has no. It can't be. Here's the thing. There has to be something. I have a feeling we've named the show Here's the Thing before. There has to be something else in here better or more funny.
The name of the show.
That's actually a better title. There has to be something in here better or more funny. Too long. I'm parking downstairs. I'm waiting for someone to leave so I can fucking park. So then I can come up here and talk to Lily and do all of this that I'm bringing to you now. All of this genius. Look, my balloon's inflated downstairs. I need to come up here and let it go. I come here with a fully loaded balloon. I need to get up here and start letting the fucking air out of it. Pronto. I'm waiting downstairs for the park, and time is ticking away, and it's 4:10 or whatever, it becomes 4:20, 4:30, and I'm already super late. I was supposed to be here at 2, so I hold Lily hostage for the day, and she and I are having this weird thing now where I don't feel like I should ever be here, and she's trying to convince me that that's not right.
That's not a we thing. That's
Yeah, maybe. But I'll come here, and I'm always freaked out because I'm like, look, I'm ruining your day. I'm making everything. And she's like, this is what I do on Wednesday. It's fine. But then she'll write me, and she'll be like, hey, it's almost 5. And I'm like, motherfucker, yeah, I know. I hate this, too. I don't want to fucking wait. And then, but all she wrote was, hey, it's almost 5. But I'm the one in my head who thinks that he's ruining her day and taking too much of her time. And I'm downstairs waiting, and I was in no mood anyway, folks, because, I don't know if I can go into this. How do I put this? Domestically, things are not as good as they should be. How does that go? Does that make sense? As we all know, my butler quit, which is fine. Unfortunately, my butler and I have some issues that we still have to work through before my butler can actually fade off into the sunset and start taking care of another client or whatever the fuck my butler wants to do. I don't know. But I'm in the middle of something now that's not going well. And I don't know, I can't, it's that thing where I don't know what to do. Because I've been cool. I've been funny. I've been cool with the lines. Ain't that the way love's supposed to be? But it's not working. Because I'm on a fucking one-way street, and I don't have a passenger, and I'm trying to contact that person, and I won't. She doesn't call me back, and she won't talk to me, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to be that guy. I don't want to. But unfortunately, I have to talk to you. Hold on. I'm Super Mario. I have to talk to you, Princess Toadstool. Please pick up your fucking phone. Tell Bowser Koopa you'll talk to him later. I need. You know, Jellyfish wrote a song about that. It kills me. Jellyfish, awesome, amazing band. If I could, I would give away all of their albums to people. As I've mentioned this many times before, if I ever win the Powerball, I have a list of things to do, and on that list are to buy every Jellyfish album I can and give it away free to everyone. I want them back on the charts. I want them to get back together. I want somebody to wake Andy Sturmer up and get him back making the kind of music I want him to make. Because he's off doing his own thing and he's following his own muse. Fuck that. I'm out here, Sturmer. Make the music I want to hear. But then he went on. He did the Teen Titans theme song, and he worked with Puffy Amiyumi, and he wrote the Winnie the Pooh musical for fucking Broadway. Yeah, he's that guy. He's like, I'm gonna do a bunch of different shit. Fuck that, Jellyfish. Call Roger Manning and get together and do some stuff now. All right. You can call Eric Dover too. Call Eric Dover. Why not? He was also in Jellyfish. He made a face. My favorite is you made a face like you would have any idea who Eric Dover was in a million years. All right. So. Oh, shit. I said so again, right? Here's the thing about that. All right, so, again, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not. It's an involuntary so. Don't you dare. That can't be the name. You'll listen back, you'll hear so many funnier things.
No.
Yeah, please.
An involuntary.
But I can't get Princess Toadstool on the fucking phone, and I'm trying. And it's this thing where, and here's the thing. She initiated this. Like, she contacted me via email, and she's like, here's what I want. I need all this. And I'm like, all right. So then I wrote her via email because I'm trying to do this correctly. I don't know what that means. You know what it means? I'm letting her drive. Okay, and whatever she wants to do, because again, this was her decision. She took off and lives her life and wants me gone, and I get all of that. Unfortunately, there's a famous song called "The Ties That Bind," and we still have some. I would love to sever them all, and then she can spin off the fucking planet for all I'm concerned. But I can't yet. I can't sign these papers. I can't do these things because there are certain things that need to be fixed. And I understand she's got some time. She's figuring things out. She's gone off and done her thing, and I'm sure she's, playing her harmonica somewhere and having a good time. Or maybe she's not. Maybe she's maybe when it's quiet for her, it's just as bad. I don't know. But I do know that you need to fucking return a phone call. So yesterday we were supposed to get together and do something. Not get together, but talk. Because I have not seen her since she left. We've only spoken a couple times. Everything's been via email or text. And I'm allowing that because I spent 20 years making unnecessary demands. That time is through. I will do what I'm told. But you can't tell me to do something, and then when I come back to you with the 5 questions about it, you don't answer me. So, as you can tell, I'm in a talking mood about it. I haven't brought this up at all, really. I mean, I joked about it and whatever, but today was kind of bad because I was downstairs and we were supposed to get together yesterday, not together, but talk and figure this thing out for once and for all. But yesterday, so then I contacted her and I'm like, I'm ready. And let's put it this way. She sent me a text yesterday and was like, look, we got to do this today. So a half hour later, I walked in my door, because I was out yesterday, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. I walked in my door a half hour later and I texted her right away, I'm home, let's do this. And then she wrote, I'm not available till 6:30. Now, I don't know what changed from 1 o'clock to 1:30 that now she was not available for the next 5 hours. But I should also tell you this. At 1 o'clock, she was like, this has to be done today during business hours. So then at 1:30, I'm like, because there was a third party involved. It wasn't like just me and her. There was a business and a thing. And I don't know what the fuck. Because again, I don't care. I'm doing what I'm told. So then I send that text. I'm like, I'm ready. Let's do this. And she's like, I'm not available till 6:30. So then I wrote her. I go, I have no idea what changed in 30 minutes. But, I don't know if they'll be closed by then. But you do your, because again, I don't get any information. So I just go, call me when you can. I'm here. Landline or cell. I don't hear from them the rest of the fucking day. Not an email, not a call, not a text. And now I don't know, because now that causes a problem. I can't go into this. All right. But suffice to say that one of the things that's left for us to take care of has not been taken care of, and now it's not. Now it's really not being taken care of. So the only reason I bring this up is because I was downstairs sitting in the car and just thinking about it and getting progressively angrier. Because I'm waiting for parking and I can't find parking and I'm pissed off at myself anyway because I'm 2 hours fucking late for this show, and I hate doing that because I hate getting here late and then leaving when it's late at night because I'm a failure and I hate when I make mistakes. So I'm in the car and I called her. And I have been very monotone, because I will tell you one of the issues we had, and I'm sure you guys know this. I had a tone. I was told I had a tone every time I talked to her. You have a tone. I don't like your tone. Your tone. It's just, you're so aggressive. It's harsh. It's this. And what's funny, folks, I will tell you this. It's not the first time I've heard that. And certainly not the first person I've heard that from. My brother's ex-wife, said that I had a tone and I was too aggressive. And what was funny is then Karen and I would laugh and laugh. Oh, I have a tone and I'm aggressive. And then later I'd hear, hey, you got a tone, you're aggressive. And it's like, yeah, well, you know what? If you did what you were fucking told. Ha ha ha. See, we're having fun there, folks. I wouldn't say that. But yeah, I can be, I don't, look, I'm fucking, yeah, I'm quick to say stuff. That doesn't mean that I have a tone or that I'm aggressive. It's just that I don't have to think before I talk. I mean, I should. Certainly I should. We all should. I just don't. I can't control my fucking head. You ever see those shows like in an old, any war movie where they give a guy a machine gun for the first time? He's like, how does this work? And he sprays down like the whole building and everybody ducks. That's me with my head. My Uzi weighs a ton, folks. Chuck D will tell you. Fuck, I got to tell you guys about that, don't I? All right, I'll get to that. But that's the thing is, it's like just because I can say 3 sentences in 2 seconds doesn't mean that I'm not considering what I'm saying. I mean, I'm still thinking about the things that are coming out of my mouth. I just don't have to. None of this is by design, folks. Seriously, I am the greatest argument in the world against intelligent design. I am all about evolution because I evolved to become this. Nobody would intelligently design this. This fat dumb fuck who can't get a job and lost his wife and fucking doesn't have any filter over the things that he fucking says. No, nobody would design that. I've evolved to this point. I used to be a fish. So as I sat downstairs and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do, because I don't even know where she lives. Like I can't even. So I called her. And the tone was back. She didn't answer the phone, and I knew she wouldn't. It's to the point now where I'm thinking I'm going to disguise my call thing, which is stupid. But there's shit that's got to be settled. So I called, and I was furious. And I fucking vomited rage into the phone. And I haven't done that yet. This is, it's been 4 months, and I've been very quiet and because I mean, as I've told you, I just want her to be happy. I don't care. It means nothing to me what she does from this point on. I hope that it makes her happy, and I hope she becomes the person she wants to be. But please recognize that there's still some shit that's got to be cleaned up. That's all. You can't be all you want to be if some of you is still with me. So let's fucking take care of it. And I let her have it on the phone, man. I just went off and fucking and bad, pretty bad. Not I don't swear. You know, I will tell you this: when I'm really mad, I don't swear. I'll just fucking talk, and it's just all pointed and to the point, and yeah. I would have been an awful father. Oof. I would have absolutely. Kids would have been scared of me because when that happens, when you see that switch get flipped, and just that fucking intense, weird laser beam guy, that's no fun for anybody. Let's have this guy. Let's have jovial guy. Let's have fucking guy eating a cat out and killing Mexicans. Let's do that guy. He's fun. He'd be a good dad. He'd be a great dad. He wouldn't want to have a pet. Probably be dangerous. So I unspooled like tons of fucking rage on the phone, and it was to the point where in my head I'm going, I wonder how much recording time there is, because honestly, she's only going to listen to the first 5 seconds and hang up anyway. So I'm going off, and I'm saying it, and then finally it ends, and as I'm talking, and I'm running downhill when I speak, and in my head I'm going, this is bad, this is really bad, like you can't, because all I'm trying to do is. I've done this before. I'm trying to goad somebody into doing something. I told you I've been in fights where I've gotten an inch away from a guy and just been an asshole in his face, waiting for him to hit me so we can go, because I don't want to hit anybody first. So that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get her attention, and I'm trying to goad her. I'm like a terrible football coach making people run stairs. I'm trying to get her attention. So I just go off, and then I finally stop talking, and in my head I go, you can't send this message. You can't. So I sit there waiting to not send the message. Like they give you you can press 1, press 2, press 3, whatever. And I'm waiting in silence in the car, and it's not giving me the choice. Where if you press 1, it sends your message. Press 2, you can hear it, and you press 3, just eliminate it and record again. So I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm waiting, and it's silent, and I'm waiting. And about 15 seconds goes by, which is believe me, it's an eternity when you're sitting there waiting for something on a phone call, and it's still recording. And so I just hit the 3 because I know that's the thing, and it beep and just makes a 3 noise. Oh, I don't want the 3 noise, so I hit the 3 again. 3, nothing. And now I realize I'm on my Bluetooth, so. I don't know if it's because the Bluetooth, it won't give me the opportunity to take the message back. And I'm like, I'm paralyzed because I don't want to hang up because that means it's going to send the message, but I don't know how to get out of it. So I sit there again, and a minute goes by. And so I'm staring at the phone, and I'm waiting, and finally after a minute, the lady who lives on the phone comes on, and she's just like, if you're satisfied with your message, I'm like, thank God you are here. Where the fuck have you been? It was almost at the point where I think that she was hiding like behind a robot pole, just giggling to herself, ha ha ha, this idiot. All of the other robots in the phone are just like, can you hear this fucking message? Who's this idiot? So finally she gives me the option for 3, so I hit 3, and I have to retake my message. So I start the second message, and I go, hey, it's Mike. You're pretty much abiling me at this point. It's pretty obvious, but I wanted to call, and I start talking. And as I start talking, I get mad, and I get more mad. I'm trying not to, but as I continue to unfold the events and go over everything, I start getting more angry because I'm running downhill, and I just wind up, this message is worse than the first one. I don't know what you're doing or where you are or what you're talking about. And I just like, and finally, I'm sitting there and I go, fuck, you can't send this message. So I wait again. And then finally the lady who lives on the phone comes up and she's like, press 1, press 2, I press 3, beep. Hey, it's me. I'm about to go record the show. I'm not around for a couple of hours, but obviously you're avoiding me because you could have picked this up. You know what my number is, but you've decided not to, and that's fine. And already I'm into the bad message. Why? I decided not to do it. Already 12 words in, I fucking ruin it. And then sure enough, I go, hey, you're supposed to call me yesterday, and then you don't, and I know what you think you're doing, but you know what? You're the one who decided you wanted to leave, and that's fine, and I respect it. I'm just, and I'm like, dude, fuck. And as I'm talking, it's weird. My mouth is going. My body is just like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's actually trying to stop my mouth from moving, but my brain is like, fuck you. All of this is coming out now. So I do the third message, and finally I stop talking, and the woman goes, press, and I go, I just hit 3 immediately. I didn't even give her the chance to give me the choices. And then it gets to leave another message, and I start talking, and I'm like, "Listen, it's me," and I try to milk toast it as much as I can, and I'm like, you're. I don't know if you're avoiding me, because before it was like, you're fucking avoiding me. Now I'm like, I don't know if you're avoiding me, but we really need to straighten this out, and I have to hear from you. But again, I guess you've just decided that nothing is important to you anymore. And oh no, what are you doing? 3. Literally, I got 2 sentences in. I guess you've decided that nothing is important to you anymore. Shut up. I'm like quiet till the lady who lives on the phone comes on and she's like, "Hey, idiot, hit 3. 3." And so then they're like, record and then hit. And finally, like the 5th try, I was just like, I got it out, pointed enough to get my point across, but also not in a way where she never wants to speak to me again. And honestly, if that's what she wants, that's fine. Unfortunately, there are some things we have to speak about. So I was fucking pissed. I was pissed, and then pissed at myself that I can't leave a fucking phone message, and I'm downstairs waiting for parking and looking around and trying to figure out where the fuck I'm gonna go. And when you're waiting to park downstairs, you have to sit there, and it's a gamble, a crapshoot. And people who live here will show up, and they also want spots. So there's this one particular woman who always shows up. She's an Asian woman who lives close by. I think I've actually talked about her on the show here. She and I had a dust up once. Well, she will sit downstairs for hours, from what I've heard, and wait for a parking spot to open up. So she's like she's the tiny Asian version of me with a vagina. Boy, I don't wish that on anybody. I can't have a vagina. I would never leave ever my house. It would just be amazing. Holy shit. If I had a vagina, it would be, because not only for like sexual purposes, it would be like a carnival. Like, what fit in it? Like, I would be at home doing all sorts of dumb shit. Oh, this is awesome. Just fill it with secondhand fruit and go to work. So I'm downstairs waiting for a spot, and I'm waiting and making this fucking phone call marathon, and then I have to go and drive laps because there's a street close by where you can park for free. So I have to go and do a lap and drive by there and come back around to Lily Street. It's just basically driving in a circle. But you have to cross over Franklin, which is a very busy street, and it takes you a while to turn right or left or to go straight. So it's kind of a hassle. And I'd prefer to get a spot by Lily's house, but it doesn't matter. I take like 4 laps looking around and then still parking and waiting, 4 laps, making a phone call, 4 laps. And on the 4th lap, I come back around and the Asian woman is waiting for a parking spot. Now, I should tell you, it's what, 5:15 at that point? I'd been down there an hour. And I pull up and she's there waiting with her parking pass in the window. And I can't tell her I've been here for an hour because I'm just pulling out of the street. So now I know I'm behind her. And I'm livid. I'm fucking livid because with her, it's this ridiculous waiting contest. Because look, Asians are patient. We know that. So she's down there and she's not going to give at all. I mean, look at Vietnam. They hid in fucking tunnels in the ground for days. So I wasn't going to beat Charlie to a spot. So I pull in and I do a fucking ring around, and she's in her car. And I knew. So I went around her, and sure enough, right when I went around her, a woman got into a car on Lily Street and pulled out, and the Asian woman immediately parked in the spot. And I was furious. Because again, look, we'll just talk about this. I now have to go park in the parking garage, which means I have to pay. And I'm not in a position to pay for anything these days, folks, as you know. And and that's the thing. This is the fucking crazy thing. It's going to be like $6 to park. And normally, who gives a shit? Nobody cares. $6, big deal. But I'm in a position now where $6 is like a thing, and that's fucking terrible. That's a horrible position, and that might explain why I had to make 5 fucking phone calls today and got progressively more angry with each fucking call. So I go around to her, and I see her park, and then I'm mad. You know what I'm really mad at? I'm not mad at her. She's in line. She gets a spot. She lives here. I'm mad at me. Because if I'm not 2 hours fucking late today, maybe I get a spot. So I cost myself the money, and that's fucking unacceptable. I'm not in a position where I can make mistakes. I felt this way whenever I get a ticket. I haven't had a ticket in 3 years. But when I would get a parking ticket and you just see it and it's $75 and you're just like, I'm going to fucking shoot myself because your own stupidity got you a parking ticket and it cost you $75. It's so dumb. And it can be avoided. Things like that can be avoided. You just have to stop being stupid. So I'm furious. Furious about phone calls, furious about Asians, furious about losing spots. And now I know I have to go park in the theater. So I try to turn and there's all this traffic. I finally pull out and I go and I take a right onto Highland. I pull into the Hollywood and Highland complex. And as I pull up, there's two dudes blocking the parking ramp that you drive down. One guy's in a pickup truck and another guy is in like a fucking Corolla. And they're talking to one another. And they're parked. And so I pull up and I don't honk. I'm pissed, but I will tell you, I still have my sensibilities where I don't honk at people unless they do something completely egregious. I will never honk my horn. I don't fucking believe in it. It's stupid. Unless somebody completely cuts me off or isn't looking and I have to wake them up in some way, I'm not going to honk. Or a pedestrian cuts in front of me. Or apparently I have a lot of rules where I'll honk my horn. When you get in my car, pull down the visor. I have them listed in case you're wondering what our ride is going to be like. Pull down the visor and check it out and you'll see hornable situations. So I don't honk my horn. The two of them are talking. I don't know. Maybe they're. Here's my favorite part in my head. I actually, maybe he's giving him directions to where? Down? You're heading down into the parking garage. There's no fucking directions to be had. Your direction? Down. But I'm behind the pickup truck, and in the right-hand lane is the Corolla, and they're fucking back and forth, and they're talking, and I sit there, and I got my music cranked anyway, so I don't really care. I'm pissed anyway. I'm pissed at the fucking Asian person for no reason. I'm mad at me. I'm fucking mad at me because it's my fault. I got to call my butler and negotiate. It's my fault I lost that spot. This is all my fucking fault. So I'm behind those two, and they're talking, and 30 seconds goes by, and now you're being a dick, okay? I can be a dick. I don't want to be, but actually, part of me wants to be because I'm not happy in the moment. So I've waited about 30 seconds. I've waited about a minute, and then I've got my music cranked up, and then finally, you know what I do? I honk my horn. It's not on my list of hornable situations, but I don't care. I figure maybe they don't notice me or they don't see me. I was going to turn my headlights on, but I thought, no, you know what? And when I say honk my horn, I didn't lay on it like a fucking taxi driver in New York jag-off from the 70s. I just went beep, beep. I literally pop, pop. I hit it with the heel of my hand a couple of times. And the guy in the pickup truck turns around and looks back at me through his window. And then does this. You won't see it, but imagine if you were swatting a fly in front of your face. He just like waves his like boo, like whatever, and continues to talk to the guy in the Corolla. And finally, the guy in the Corolla, only a few more seconds go by, and the guy in the Corolla is like, kind of waves and he drives. So the guy in the pickup truck takes his time and he continues to drive, and I'm right behind him. So we have to go into a parking garage. There's like all these different levels, and when I drive into a parking garage, I'm single-minded of purpose. I want to park my car. And I also don't mind going down a couple levels because that's the whole point. Well, this guy, he gets his parking ticket, and then I get mine, and there's two lanes, and I go to pass him, and he cuts in front of me. And he's driving super slow, because you've parked in there how many times? Yes. And he's going super slow. He's looking for the first available spot, but he wants it as close. Like he's that dick, and he's doing it on purpose because he knew he was blocking me, and I honked my horn, so he decided to make a point. So we turn the corner, and we have to turn real slow around the corner, and I can't pass him because there's a lane. Now we're in one lane, so there's people coming in the other direction. We turn around, and then I'm in my lane behind him, and I'm right behind him. I mean, I am right fucking behind him because he's going 5 miles an hour, and I'm driving and I'm listening to my music and I'm trying not to be a dick. I'm trying not to get upset. I'm trying not to worry about it, but I'm still fucking pissed, and I'm pissed about everything, and I'm pissed at myself more than anything else. But I'm driving, and then he's driving, and he's being a dick, and I know he's doing it on purpose, and he's trying to fuck with me. So I'm driving, and I don't fucking care. And there's people all in the parking garage because they're getting out. It's all tourists at Hollywood and Highland. All these tourists are here, and they're parking, they're getting out of their cars. So there's people, and then we go down one more level. And as we turn around to the next level, we get on it, and I'm behind him still. And I've been behind him, right fucking behind him the entire time. The entire fucking time. And I'm not flashing my lights, I'm not hitting my horn, but I mean, I have nowhere else to go. It's one lane, and I'm trapped. I have to go as slowly as he wants to go. So finally, when he turns the corner, he's driving and he throws his hands up in the air like, what are you doing? What do you expect from me? Because he's pissed that I'm still on his ass, but there's nowhere for me to go. And we start pulling up, and there's a bunch of people around as they're getting in and out of the cars, and there are no spots. So I can't park. I can't get off his ass. And, I want him to hustle him and get to another level because all the spots are below because everybody hogs the fucking upper level spots because they're idiots. And he throws his hands in the air like frustrated, like, why are you on my ass? And then finally he hits his brakes as hard as he can. And again, I'm only a couple inches behind him. But I was waiting for him to do something fucking stupid like that. So I hit my brakes immediately and I don't hit him. And there are people all around getting out of their cars. He stopped his car. I'm stopped. And I don't know what he's doing now. And he just puts his hands in the air again like, what are you doing? And so now I lay on the horn. I just fucking bang. I just fucking hammer it. And he gets out of his car. And he comes around and he's probably 6 foot and he might weigh 140 pounds. And he gets out of the car and he looks at me and I don't move. I'm in my car because I will be honest with you, I knew that if I got out of the car, I was going to hurt him really bad. Because I was pissed already about phone calls. I was pissed about not having a spot. I was pissed at myself for being late. I was so fucking mad at me that I would have killed him. And he gets out of the car and he throws his hands in the air like what about it, pal? What? And then he comes over to my car. And I'm still in the car and I throw it in park. And there's families all around and I roll my window down. And I'm hoping he hits me through the window. That's all I want because people will see it. Because I didn't want to get out of my car because it would look like I had initiated or I had escalated something. So I'm sitting in the car and he comes up to my car and he goes, what is your problem, bro? Literally, this cliche got out of his truck. 6 foot maybe, but definitely like 140 pounds. Just a fucking rail. He had a watch that didn't fit. It went up to his elbow. I mean, he's a fucking... I was about to get into a fight with Hangman. He jumped out of his gallows and approached my fucking car. What is your problem, bro? And these people see him because he made a big show of it. He got out of his car and he threw his hands in the air and he blocked the other traffic and he walked up to me and he's like, what is your problem, bro? And I have my window down and he gets to my window and he's like, what is your problem, bro? And I look at him and I go, get back in your fucking car. He went white. And I'm like, and because I'm trying not to get out of my car because I would have fucking ruined him. But I let him get to my window. I lured him in as closely as I possibly could because he leaned on the car and he goes, what is your problem, bro? Get back in your fucking car. And I'm looking right at him, right in his face, and he froze, and he went, all the blood left his body. Like, you know what? You ever heard Eddie Murphy talk about the quart of blood technique? That was the quart of blood technique. I did that, and a quart of blood dropped out of a fucking skinny motherfucker's body. And I'm trying not to be that guy anymore, but you caught me at the worst fucking time, Bones. And he froze, and he just, and he immediately, like, I get back in your fucking car, and the blood went out of his face, and families froze, and stopped to look, and one woman grabbed her son and pulled him close. It was like the Old West. Like we're in the middle of the fucking street and there's going to be a gunfight and the people are out there and they can't help but be out there. They want to see it, but they don't really want to see it. So she grabbed her child and held him. And I don't even fucking break my gaze. I'm looking right at him and he didn't even, the second I said it, the blood went out of his face and I'm staring at him and I'm fucking breathing and I'm through my teeth and he just turned around and he didn't run, but there was a sense of purpose in his walk. And he got into his truck and he floored it. I don't know if he's ever driven that truck that fast in his life. Put the foot to the floor in a parking garage, squealed his tires, and immediately turned left, which he could have done a million times before, but he didn't, just to be a cock, and look what it got him. And I'm sitting in my car, and I don't even go. And it's funny, there's people driving, and there's people behind me, and there's families, and they're clutching their children, and they're warning them against growing up to be someone like me. And I see his taillights fade in the distance. And all I could think in my head was, press 3. Press 3. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can be David Hernandez, the man who does all the music and all of the artwork for the show. You can be his friend at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp at 2 different Twitter accounts, Twitter.com/MNTs and Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp. You can be her friend at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. But if you'd like to write her a personal note, and I'll weigh in on the controversy of the day, fruit or ass.
That's not the controversy.
You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com. You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy. Coming up, Ask the Lizard King. An Indian shaman asks X-Doors frontman Jim Morrison questions submitted by everyday listeners.
Oh, great Lizard King! Louis from Tucson writes, I have to make the toast at my parents' 45th wedding anniversary. I am no good at public speaking. Any suggestions on what I should say?
Father, yes, son, I want to kill you.
Lizard King, that's kind of dark. I don't know if that's what Louis was thinking when...
Mother!
Oh, no. No, Lizard King?
I want to...
No, I think we should stop. No, we're stopping! Stopping! Put the feathers away!
Break on through with Ask the Lizard King on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
All right, come on, yeah!
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. It is the hottest, the longest running, the absolute bestest burlesque show in the history of Southern California. Nay, California. Nay, the West Coast. I know the producer of that show, and I don't say these things just because I know the producer. I feel this way. I genuinely feel this way. As a man who has seen every burlesque show from fucking Washington State to the Gulf of Mexico, I am confident in saying that this is clearly the best show running today. And it is produced by my friend, and your friend too, Lily Von Stupp. Hey, Lily, how are you?
Hi, Mike, I'm fine.
Oh, that's good news. I'm glad to hear it. You're all right? Everything's fine for you? You're good? With the show went well? How's your back? Because I always worry when I'm here, her back and her knees and her jaw, everything's all fucked up. And then I make her sit here for hours and hours and pretend to be interested and push some buttons. And then her back stiffens up. I just feel terrible. And so that's why another reason I have to win the Powerball. Why? Because, I have a litany of reasons, but among them, as I've mentioned, I will buy all of the Jellyfish albums and pass them out to strangers so we can get Andy Sturmer back up and running to do the stuff that I want him to do. And I will hire a full-time acupuncturist to follow Lily around and poke needles into her back because that will help her out. Folks, I got a whole bunch of stuff to do.
I want to read that
No.
list on Facebook.
I might. Maybe I will. Maybe I will not. I will, but then, hey, dude, I saw that list, and I think you got to take it down, man. I mean, I understand that you do your thing, and I don't want to be a prude about it. Because I should tell you that. He said that to me so the first thing he said, I pick him up last night. I didn't even finish this. I pick him up. And he was like, "There's a tavern over here we went to last night." So we went to the Blue Dog Tavern, and he didn't want to eat because he had come from dinner at his boss's house. He's like, "I'll have a beer and I'll buy you dinner." And I'm like, "All right, that's cool." And it was funny because I told him, I go, "Dude, I'm broke." I go, and he's like, and I went to pay, and he's like, I told you I'll pay for dinner." And I go, "You don't have to." I go, "But if you're paying for dinner, I'm gonna order like 4 other dinners and bring them to my house." And he started laughing, and he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing? You guys got a turkey back there my friend can take to his house?" And I go, "Listen, do you guys have frozen chicken wings? I just want 4 bags. I'll just take them because it's on my friend." But the first thing he did when we sat down is he looks at me and he's like, "What the fuck was that? Holy shit."
There was nothing there.
That was my hair.
That was your hair.
Okay.
Your hair fell.
Shut up. Let's pretend that didn't happen. That was fucking weird.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
No. I wish I'd have seen my face though, because I lost it there.
I was videotaping it too.
Folks, I have my hair. You know, I have my hair. It's all kind of slicked back. You know, Look, you know what? I will tell you this. I did Never Not Funny last week, and they put up probably the best picture ever taken of me. It's on my Facebook page. That was my favorite picture. When I saw it, I'm like, oh, I look awesome. So imagine that guy. Go look at that picture that Never Not Funny posted, and then on my right-hand side, the hair fell, because it'll do that sometimes. It's like, because it's heavier than the product, and it just fell and it touched my ear, and I freaked out because I felt it hit my ear, and I thought it was something buzzing my ear like a moth or something, because I'm a weirdo. And here's the thing. I don't want this show to be Mike battles nature every single fucking week. I mean, there's moths and cats and all sorts of bullshit and possums and everything. And I recognize that can be tiresome for the listener, who they're all of a sudden they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, a wombat happened through and Mike got an hour out of it. No, I don't want it to be that. But actually, let's look at it this way. I just got into a fight with my own hair. Like I literally... Lily looked at me because I saw it and I was like, oh my God. So look at the Never Not Funny picture, which is a great picture of me. And then it's on my Facebook page. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an amazing picture. You don't think so? You made a face.
It's very light. There's a lot of flash on it, so you look
washed out.
A little washed out. Your hair looks lighter than it actually is.
All right, folks. Well, take it from me. Take it from our producer friend Lily. That is not the best photo taken of me.
It's about a 7.
All right. Well, I enjoyed it. I liked it. Well, let's put it this way. In that photo, I'm not fighting anything that's alive. That's why I like it. I'm actually at peace for a second and a half. And I think I made Bella take like 5 pictures. Like Matt took like 5. I go, dude, take, because I do it when I'm out on the road too. I tell people because they got to be on my right-hand side. And then I tell them, I go, hey, take like 3 and then pick the best one, please. Because there were so many washed out, terrible pictures of me that people would put up. And it's not their fault. It's certainly not the camera's fault. I don't want to blame, look, a good carpenter doesn't blame his camera. But or his fans. A good carpenter doesn't blame his fans. But a good carpenter would take a better fucking picture, I can tell you that. I look like a fucking chimp in some of these photos. And there's one photo of me and Todd Rush, and I really like the photo, but at the same time, I look emaciated. It's like, here's Mike leaving the AIDS clinic. I mean, it's just such a weird photo, because it was back when I was really losing weight kind of quick, and my face looked sallow. And my hair is all messed up because I had been on stage for 3.5 hours in fucking Portland. And that was just before Todd ran away. It was the first time I ever met him, and he had a buddy who hated me and wanted to go away. They came to see the show live, and Todd Rush could not be a bigger fan or a more supportive guy. He's loved me since Never Not Funny. He's so cool and awesome. But that poor guy, I felt bad for him. He brought somebody to see me the first time I was in Portland at the Hip Bone Studio, and that dude wanted out. So like it was all we could do. One of the reasons I look so sallow in the photo is because Todd Rush is running away from me in the picture because his friend is starting the car. It's so bad. So all right, I keep touching my hair now to make sure it doesn't fall. It's so stupid. All right. What were we talking about before that?
Sat down with him for beer.
So I sat down to talk to Jeff, and the first thing I was about, hey, Michael, I just want to tell you, I'm not a prude or nothing, man. I just, you got to understand that I can't have, and I just went, I go, dude, I get it. I think I already covered this earlier, didn't I? God damn it. I'm repeating myself. Well, history repeats itself. The show is history, huh? That's right. But as we already said, we don't need it to categorized for history. We don't need it cataloged. But it was so funny to me that the first thing he said when we finally sat down was, look, I got to talk to you. So whatever. But I could not convince him to come to the burlesque show, which even though I told him it was the best show in Los Angeles, the West Coast, he couldn't be bothered. But my friend Lily produces that show, and Monday's show was spectacular.
It was.
I threw an extra A in there.
Yeah.
It was not spectacular. It was spectacular. It might have been spanktacular. Our friend Lily did pickup for the show, so she was there and on stage doing stuff. And she did some on-stage spankings. That girl in the middle, you probably could have taken her home, I would have imagined.
Probably.
Yeah, she was into it.
I was just so proud of myself of saying I'm going to spank your ass with my face.
Yes. Very nice.
And I did it.
Yeah.
There's a great
Dove in,
picture of it.
face first. Oh, is there really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a blondie from Australia there, and she got up on stage and to get spanked, and Lily went and dove face first into her ass. And the reason she did it? Because there was no fruit in the bar. You had your face up there looking for a grape.
No. Wasn't a grape.
No. Is it cherry?
No.
All right.
There's no fruit involved.
Okay. So the show was amazing on Monday because there were in-town performers and out-of-town performers, which I always like because I like to see people that are different and people that I've never seen before. Our friend Paco Fish from Baltimore came to town and did a French-themed strip and he was
Senor Paco Fish.
yeah, and he was dressed. He had a powdered wig on and a gold cape, and his pasties were fleur de lis when he stripped down, and then he had French underwear on. Should I give away the reveal? I don't think so. What if somebody wants to see it later? Yeah, but he had a French, the red, white, and blue French flag underwear, which was awesome. It was great. It was a French themed thing, and there were dudes who came in after that ended. Because it's Fringe Festival week in California, so there's all these people from out of town. There were people from Australia there to see the show, just like there were people from Japan there when Nikita's there, and they'll come to see people from their home nation. Well, with Fringe, there's all sorts of foreigners in town anyway, and they're going to any show. So Paco Fish finishes, and he leaves the stage, and I'm working the door, and a guy comes in from the outer bar. He pokes his head in, and he goes, "Is there a French show in here?" He's a little French guy. And I don't know if I did the accent justice there, folks, but I had to tell you it was a French guy just in case you didn't get it from there. I want to talk to you. Is there a French show in here? Oh, sacre bleu, Paco Fish. So, how do I not get voiceover work? Listen to all the magic I bring to those accents.
Oh, Jesus.
Sacre bleu, Paco Fish. So this guy pokes in, and I'm like, "No, sir, that was a French-themed show, but it's a burlesque show, and they do burlesque in France. You should pay to come in. Like, I just want anybody to pay." And he's like, "Oh, well, thank you." And he fucking walks off, twirls his mustache. He goes, oui, I'll come back. I can't do the pop noise. With that fucking, who's that dude? I hurt myself as a kid. Can you do that? Do it. I can't do it. Who is that dude? Isn't it Louis something or?
Eddie knows his name right off the top of his head, and I can't remember.
There's some guy, when we were kids, there used to be a guy, not Spike Jones.
No.
He's a weird dude like that, though. Who did the Victor Borga? You know, Victor Borga did the punctuation thing. That's a question mark. I think I did Victor Borga on here once before, didn't I? Jesus Christ. Everything repeats itself, folks. But anyway, there was an actor in the old days who, one of his trademarks, he would hit himself in the mouth. It would make this noise. Like that noise, but he could do it by hitting himself in the mouth. And so as a child, I would try it. I would be bleeding. Because I would keep hitting myself in the mouth waiting to make the noise, and I can't. Fritz Feld, ladies and gentlemen. Look up Fritz Feld. See, Lily can do it. I can't do that. I hit myself in the face. You know what I'm doing? I'm hitting myself in the face. There's no magical pop noise. There you go. Lily can do it. I can't. So that's what that guy did. Let's do a little sketch. That guy he said, "Oh, sacre bleu, Paco Fish." I said, "Pay to come on in, sir." And he goes, "Oh, maybe. See you later. Oui, oui." There you go. Look at the teamwork. Look at the French teamwork. So Paco Fish was there, and then of course Gail Hall.
Nope, Grace Hall.
Grace Hall. Grace Hall was there from Italy. Italy. She wanted to talk to me. She sang and stripped, took off all of her clothes. Our friend Red Snapper was there taking her clothes off. Who else showed up? Cena King, of course, is the headliner. Dizzy Von Dam showed up. Isa LeVamp did a reverse strip, which is when you come to the stage already naked, and then you put your clothes on seductively. Yeah, it's quite a twist. Yeah, exactly. See, now you're going to do that all the time. So that's, yeah, but she had this crazy latex. Her deal, like I said, she came up naked, and then she powders herself with like a big powder puff, and she gets all, because she has to slip this really skin-tight latex thing on. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then Dizzy did her thing with a glowing vagina, and I love to just dismiss it like that. She did that thing with the glowing vagina, and then... But then Cena King was there. Boy, she was fucking amazing. She's Miss Australian Burlesque 2011. Yeah. And she came out, and I wish I don't know the song that she used, but here's the thing. People do classic burlesque, and they use that, wah, 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 wah. Nobody does Minnie the Moocher, but you know what I mean. It's like, do they really? All right, some people strip to that kind of stuff. And I'm not. Unless you're climbing into a big martini glass, I don't want to see or hear that. That's just me. I like a modern song. I like a modern burlesque with a modern song. So that's why Cena King was so intriguing to me, because she came out with an old school beginning, and then it vamped into like an electronic, really moody type of song. And I don't know what it was, but she had a costume, dudes. I think I told you last week there was this chick, Tiny D, who had a costume that she wouldn't put on the floor. She had to take it off piece by piece and hand it to people because it was like so expensive and so amazing. Well, Cena King, same type of deal. She had like a feather. This was cool. She had a feathered headdress And then she had these amazing scarves, but she had like the trick is she had like a long stick in them, so she was able to twirl them, and I can't even describe them. Isis wings? Okay, she had those, and she twirled around to the music, and she was very cognizant. I saw her rehearse the piece, too, which was really fun to watch because she had to know where she could turn and where she could go because there are monitors hanging above the stage, and her headpiece was taller than the monitors. So she had to make sure she wasn't going to bump into those, and also she twirled the Isis wings, and she had to make sure she wasn't going to bump into any of the stuff that was hanging around. So she mentally made notes. I actually saw her do it. It was great. She kind of committed the stage to memory, and then when I watched her do the piece, none of that was reflected. She was not counting her steps. She knew where she was. She was very present in the bit, and I thought it was amazing. But when she took off her headdress, her feathered headpieces, they became fans. And so, yeah, instead of just being, they were multifaceted. Instead of just being the headpiece, then they became the fans for like a fan version of the fan dance. Great stuff. Really amazing to watch. And it just... it makes the show more exciting for me. I mean, I love all the local people, as I've said, but, the fact that you come all the time to see different people and see them, especially good people, and who the fuck am I to say good or not good? I don't know anything about burlesque. I just know what I like. And to see someone like that come in and, like I said, she was an entire continent's Miss Burlesque. So you can imagine what she brought to the table, and she just killed it. She was so great and fun to watch. And Lily was funny, and, our friends Snapper and Buddy were running the show, and they were fucking hysterical. Everything was great. It was a good time. I had a really good time at that show. How did you feel about it, Lily?
It was spectacular.
Whoa. So you put an H in there instead of an A.
Did
I said spectacular. You said spectacular. Oh, like stuptacular.
Yes.
Nicely done. So this week, coming Monday, there's a show. As always, folks, the Monday Night Tease. But here's the thing. There's a twist.
Dun, dun, dun.
See? You're going to hurt yourself. I would hurt myself trying to do that pop noise.
With a pen in my hand.
Yeah, that wasn't smart. Good Lord. There you go. I'd like to Fritz your Feld. All right, so...
My secondhand fruit.
Nope. Secondhand. I'm not interested in a secondhand Fritz either, or a secondhand Feld. The show this week is it's quite different because there are two
What?
shows this week. There's an early show at 7:30, and that is the Doc and Stumpy extravaganza of comedy and dancing burlesque type peoples.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And then there's a show after that. At the normal Monday Night Tease show is at 10.
Yes,
It's at 10 o'clock. It's normal time. So there is a regular Monday Night Tease this week. Who's at the Monday Night Tease, the actual 10 o'clock show?
Who is at the Monday Night Tease at the 10 o'clock show? I'm performing. April Showers is performing in both of them.
I should mention that our friend Micah Cover was here this past weekend, and Micah does magic, and it was fantastic. Did a trick, and I won't give it away, but I will say I felt a little cheated at the end of that trick. But just because of the verbiage used, and I understood what needed to be done, but I like to see the naked person at the end that I was told was going to be there. But I understood. I understand the bit. But when I don't want to give anything away. But yeah. So I'm just being.
It just didn't end the way you wanted it.
Well, let's put it this way: if everything ends with a naked girl, I'm happy. That's fine. But and again, I totally recognize the bit. It's misdirection. I understood all of it. I'm being silly by saying that the whole time you're waiting for April to get naked, and then of course April's there and enjoying herself, and that's fine. I don't want to give anything away. Well, I mean, when you see her, don't you want her to be naked at all times?
No.
Yeah, I do. Hi, April. I hope you don't listen. So April will be there this Monday. April Showers.
Both shows she's performing. Sheila Starr is performing in both shows. Holly Rocket is performing in both shows. I'm performing in both shows.
Oh my God! Your back, your knee, your jaw.
I know. Preeti Boutte is performing. Nadia Lott is performing, and Lucille Highball is performing as well. And then we've got Doc and Stumpy in the first act. And
Who's hosting? Who's hosting the second show?
I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you're dancing?
And I'm dancing.
Wow.
I know.
Look at that, folks.
I'm dancing twice in one night, and I'm hosting.
Dude, come out and get a look at the triple threat that is our friend Lily Von Stupp. Come out and check out that show, folks. She's putting it all on the line for you. She's committing it. She's going to do a regular strip, a reverse strip. She's going to have Isis wings. She's going to have a headpiece. It's going to be amazing. And come check it all out. She's doing all that. So that'll be this week. There's two shows, as I mentioned, Doc and Stumpy at 7:30, regular Monday Night Tease at 10 o'clock. Come to one, come to both. Come and have a good time at all of them at the greatest, most stupendous burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles.
Come to one, come to all, just come.
Yeah.
Can that be our tagline?
Come to one, come to both. Just come. Come to one, come to all. Well, come to all would be like all of them forever.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, done. Buy, please buy some tickets. But it was a great show, man. And there was a like a weird bachelor party that showed up. Or no, it was his birthday party. It was that dude's birthday party. Those dudes were tipping, man. To the point where Chris, the bartender, goes, "Where did those guys go?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the guy bought a $5 drink and gave me a 20 and told me to keep it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay," because they did that when they checked in. He paid me, and he goes, "Yeah, just keep it." And I was like, "Okay." I can't tell Lily. I'm like, "This guy tipped us. Take this money. Take this money and run. You take these bananas." So go to the Monday Night Teas and go to MondayNightTeas.com for any and all information, or follow Lily on her two Twitter accounts, twitter.com/MNTeas, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp. And there's a Facebook page, right, for Monday Night Teas?
There is.
Yeah, you guys can be a friend or follow, like her page on the Monday Night Teas page.
I have a business page you can like, and I have a group you can join.
Join the group, like the business page. All of that Monday Night Teas stuff should be in your life right now, and come to the shows and have a good time. And go to MondayNightTeas.com for all of the information about that show and upcoming shows. And I'll tell you this right now, because I just found out myself, folks. It turns out our friend Lily Von Stupp is doing one final performance of the Tarantino Burlesque Film Festival show, the Quentin Tarantino Burlesque Tribute. It's called Burlesque Unchained.
Called De-Burlesque Unchained, because the D's aren't silent.
Ah, okay, so the D's are not silent.
joke.
It is. It's a good one, and I let you deliver it, didn't I?
Yes.
I did nice. So De-Burlesque Unchained with all of the Tarantino favorites of the past and a couple of new acts.
Got Jezebel Thunder doing.
Yeah, so that's going to be good. And I will tell you this, and not that it matters, but I will be hosting that show. I've been called out of retirement, called out of the bullpen to host the Tarantino show, and the date on that is?
That is July 30th, I think it is. It's the last Monday of the month.
The last Monday of July. Hold on, she will find out exactly the date, and then I will tell you what that
30th.
is.
It could be the 29th. I could be screwed up. It's the 29th.
Really?
Yeah. July 29th.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm working on my birthday, folks. So come on out on July 29th to De-Burlesque Unchained at the Monday Night Teas. That is my birthday, and also the final performance of the Tarantino Burlesque show I will be hosting, and I'll be excited to see you all there. So when do tickets go on sale for that?
If Mike Schmidt listeners want tickets because they're flying in from out of town, let me know now.
It will sell
Email
out.
me.
Yeah, the show
It
will sell out.
Yeah.
So if you guys are, coming from, up north, wherever the fuck, if you guys are coming to town and you want tickets, make sure Lily knows so she can reserve them for you, because there are limited number of seats.
There's limited seats, and I want people who want to be there to get them.
Yeah. So get tickets, come out, have a good time, and we'll go out afterwards. We'll go to Toy for Thai food. You'll go to House of Pies, but
No, let's go to Toy. Fuck it.
yeah, we'll go to Toy for Thai food to get some rock and roll Thai food. So that'll be fun. If anybody wants to come to the show, that'll be a good time, and then we'll go to Toy afterwards, and we'll do the birthday thing. And by the way, this is all predicated on me not having a regular thing somewhere.
Well,
I mean,
if you have a regular thing somewhere, it's not going to be at 10 o'clock at night.
who knows? What my old one was. Oh fuck! I was gonna tell that story. Should I wait till next week, or should I tell it now?
You should wait till next week. You should tell them about what just happened.
Yeah. Shut up. I'll get to that.
Pow, pow,
Yeah,
pow, pow.
fine. Go to oh, look at you. Go to Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy and become my friend while you're there. And by the way, we have a Reddit page that I'm never on. It was some people started it, and that was very nice of them. I think Scott started it, our friend Scott, because he's a Redditor. And there are plenty of people that are Redditors, but I'm scared of the text. I'm scared of the wall of text. I don't do very well. I should be doing things more to market myself there, but I don't. And what else is there to do? I talk here, and then there's that there. And I keep promising to write this blog about the T-shirts I have available. I haven't done that just yet either, but I will, I swear. So go to Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy and be my friend. Remember, there's the Reddit page as well. The link is available through my Facebook page. I mentioned that I did the Never Not Funny podcast last week with our friends Jimmy Pardo and Matt Belknap, the best podcast in the world today. And I was lucky enough to be invited to go ahead and do it. I knew last week that I'd done it, but they to keep you quiet, so I couldn't tell you. I wanted to. I actually made a hint. I said, I was busy Monday afternoon. I was doing something. I totally threw that in there last week for no reason. But it was good. I had a great time, and I will tell you that I felt so comfortable because it's it was weird the first couple times I went back, but then I become progressively more comfortable with those guys, and we had a great show. It was really fun. You can actually buy it, and while I'm here telling you about this, you can actually buy season 1 of Never Not Funny that I was on. You can actually buy all of their seasons, but I only get paid for one of them, so fuck that. Buy season 1 so I get some money at the end of the year from these guys. So you can download Never Not Funny. You can get the early, the 30 minutes, or you can subscribe to the show at podcast.com and do all that stuff and get my episode and all the other fun episodes they've done with a million other people that are great and funny, because it is truly the best podcast going today. I mentioned facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. And you can donate to this show on the upper left-hand corner of every page by clicking on the little Schmitty with his pocket out. Donate to the show. There's the $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $25 a month options. I appreciate all of them. Thank you so much for anybody who's gone ahead and subscribed. We do appreciate all of the money that you've sent our way donating to the show. That's so cool of you, and it has kept us alive. And by us, I mean me. Please remember to go to the Joe Business page, and there's plenty of stuff there for you to take a look at and purchase. We've got mugs from Zazzle still for the time being. They won't be there for long. And then, of course, tweakedaudio.com/40. That's where you get your earbuds and possibly your cock ring watches, but they sponsor the show and they give us cool earbuds. I just got a package from them, I think I mentioned, with some earbuds in it. Thank you very much, Bruce, and everybody over at tweakedaudio.com/40. We've got artwork available for the show, and yes, there are people out there who've ordered artwork and are waiting. As soon as David gets his basement squared away and other things, I will promise to send it to you. We will sign it, and you will have it, and you will frame it, and you will love it. T-shirts are available. As I've mentioned, only the Red Boys are available still and in various sizes. And then there are other tour shirts from other cities. There's a Denver, there's some Minneapolis, there's a Boston, and I think I have an Atlanta shirt. So I will list them, I promise. I will list them and you will see what's available, and we'll figure out a way to get them to you, into your hands. Remember that the Schmitty Comes Alive live show from the podcast festival last year in Los Angeles is available for $5. And that's, I think, what was that, an hour show? Hour and a half? I don't remember exactly. But it's worth it, in my opinion. It's $5, and it's me live on stage telling a story you've never heard. Please remember that the For the Life of Schmitty single is available if you want that. Some people asked for it from the interlude, and that is absolutely available for you to purchase, too, for the price of a single that you would buy at iTunes. And Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, and Year 5 of the show are available individually or together as the UN of Evil set. Grab the Woj, the Evil Dennis, the Schmitty, the Mex, or the Jimmy O. Or is it the Stoolie? I don't remember what we called it. I can't remember. But either one will work. Grab those, and I will send them to you. The UN of Evil box set is available now. And we are still running the promotion with Tweaked. Right now, if you buy a Year 5 download set, you will get a free set of earbuds. If you buy a UN of Evil box set, you will get a free set of earbuds and then either a second set of earbuds or a 50% off coupon to purchase anything on the site. So thank you again to Bruce for all of that stuff. So go ahead and buy a Year 5 set or a UN of Evil box set and qualify for the Tweaked audio offer. Or just buy old sets, Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, and Year 4. Buy those and enjoy them, because I keep telling you that you should, and I do not lie. And now I have to go home and watch the Stanley Cup that I taped. And I have to avoid all of civilization on the way to my house. And it's funny because I want to stop and get some actual food. I haven't had like real food. I'm eating toast and yogurt, as we know. That's my life, folks. And what I'll do is I'll go to Pizza Hut and I'll buy a pizza and I'll eat that for 3 days. I eat like 2 pieces a day, or whatever. What, you don't care. Nobody cares.
Everybody.
Sure they do. They all care about what I eat. But now I got to run into a place that I know has a TV, and I don't want to go in there because they're going to have the fucking game on, and it's going to be a drag, and I'm going to avoid it. Although it's already, what, 8:40?
8:50.
It's 8:50. That game should be over. Hockey games.
Find out if it's over.
No, I don't even want to know that, because you know why? Because that'll tip me off to something. Because if you look and you're like, oh, it's not over, then I'll know it's in overtime. And then when I watch it, all the tension is gone because I know, well, it's still going to go to overtime. I might as well fast forward it. You see what I'm saying? You don't know anything about hockey. Ow. There you go. You did it. I did it. I hurt myself. Fritz Feld, and you do it.
Hit yourself in the face.
No, you heard it. You guys hit yourself and you make that noise. I hit myself and I go, ow. That's what I get out of it. If I Fritz Feld, I go, ow. Perfect. I would, you know what? I want you to do that all the time just so I can watch you lick your lips before you do it every time. Yes, you're doing it. It's fun. So there was controversy earlier, folks, regarding secondhand fruit. We've discussed this, right? You guys, and you're all on board with me. Nobody eats a bowl of fruit that somebody hands them. Grim. And again, her warm hands were warming it up, and so I knew it was a bowl of. Nobody wants a bowl of warm berries. Ugh. I don't want a compote. I want a fresh bowl of fruit.
It was fresh.
Well, get some more out of the fridge for me and make me a fresh bowl. No, I don't want
to. I offered you a bowl that was less than 10 minutes after it had been cut.
It doesn't matter. Still old enough.
No.
So you know me, I have rules. So instead I had a couple of Tootsie Rolls, and that was fine. Because you know what I want to do, folks? I want to eat I want to eat so many Tootsie Rolls I just shit a tire. That's how I want my life to be led. God forbid I eat fruit, nature's broom. Instead I eat nature's tar.
I don't think nature had anything to do with it.
Yeah, good point. I was just happy to say nature's tar. So Lily is eating she's got her fruit, and she still has it. And this is the part, she's left it on the counter, it's warm.
No, I haven't. It's all gone. I ate it all.
You just
wouldn't eat it.
threw the show, but that's what I'm saying. When I first got here, maybe it had been out for 10 minutes. But the whole time I've been sitting here, you've been eating like one grape an hour. And so you're finally whittling it down. And so I would see, it's like just more, even warmer fruit. Awful. So she had it, and she actually offered me it again. Like after I had told you guys that I would never eat it, she offered me like some strawberries. I'm like, no, those have been on the counter for like 2 hours now. I absolutely do not want a bowl of warm fruit. So we were doing the break here, and she had to go use the restroom, and then she came back, and I had a Tootsie Roll, and I unwrapped it. And I actually dropped it on the floor, and I picked it up, and I was going to eat it. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "What?" And she goes, "Was that 5-second rule?" I said, "It was on the floor for like a second." She goes, "I live here, and I wouldn't go by the 5-second rule. I had a cat walking around last week, and who knows what else." And I went, "Well, so I shouldn't?" And she goes, "No, you shouldn't." She goes, "You wouldn't eat a bowl of fresh fruit, but you're going to eat candy off the floor?" And I hadn't thought of it that way, really. She goes, "That's secondhand candy. If anything, right now, that is secondhand candy." And I'm holding this Tootsie Roll, and I don't want to waste it. Look, I grew up as a child who was poor, and I never wanted to waste anything, certainly not candy. And I actually made a sad face, like I was forlorn looking at it, and she put her hand out. It was so great, like a mom, she just put her hand out, and I looked at her like, "Really?" She's like, "Come on." I handed it to her. She threw it away, a whole Tootsie Roll. And I mean, yes, she's right. Certainly, if you won't eat fresh fruit, you shouldn't eat candy off of the floor. And I guess she'd know better. I mean, it is the fucking oldest building in Hollywood. She's here and I'm not. And there was a cat last week, and I was only here to see the cat walking around. Who the fuck knows what the cat did when I wasn't around? That cat, he might have done a fucking Madonna behind Kevin Costner's back. Like, that cat was like all nice to me. The cat was like, great. And I was like, hey, this cat is neat. And then I walked out, and then the cat Madonna like put a paw in its hand and went, ugh. And then it actually, unfortunately, went too far, and it threw up all over the place. Because apparently me and that cat were Kevin Costner and Madonna from Truth or Dare. I have no idea how I came up with that. I don't know why I made that happen in my brain, but for some reason that's what happened. And I never even said the cat was neat. I'm human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm bologna and pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. Don't hit snooze on me, motherfucker. I am a hilarious noise machine. I'm going to tell you this. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life if you can pull 2 midget Indian wrestlers out of your skull at any time. You know what? I don't even need you people here. Seriously, I do this. I love me. I don't give a fuck what you think, how you think. God damn it, I'm the greatest. can't go for Schmidt. No, no. No can do. 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 No can do.